Welcome, Libra, to the month of September 2018. I'm Megan of North Star Astrology, and this is another general transits reading for those of you born with your sun, moon, and or rising signs in the 7th zodiacal sign of Libra, the scales. Now, at the tail end of your reading, I'm going to give you an extra bonus as to why you have all of the characteristics that you do, both positive characteristics and or attributes and negative characteristics and or traits to let go, as there are two sides to every equation. And there will be other such info at the tail end of your reading. So, without further ado, the month starts out on September 2nd, when Mars, having been transiting your 4th house of the home in Capricorn, trines the moon over here in your 8th house in Taurus at 8 hours 3 minutes, or 5 hours and 58 minutes. And with this very harmonious trine from the action planet in the practical, more of a pragmatic earth sign of Capricorn to the stable earth sign of Taurus, you now have the ability to emotionally take charge in something you are doing for your home, like some sort of home renovation project, and garner something from financially from other people's resources for something to do with the home. Then on the following day, the last quarter moon occurs in your 9th house of higher learning and the higher mind in Gemini at 10 degrees Gemini 34 minutes, and last quarter phase moon, meaning something is coming to its culmination within some sort of justice and law doings. Okay, then on September 4th, Mercury over in Leo in your 11th house of friendships sextiles or makes a 60-degree flowing, short but sweet aspect also to the moon in Gemini. So from your 9th house, and I hope you can see this because it's just so beautiful. There's this first morning's light from the rising sun onto your chart with no glare, which is nice. So the moon sextiles Mercury in Leo from your 9th house to your 11th houses. Now this positive aspect gives you the ability to communicate flamboyantly, maybe even, but communicate nonetheless philosophically with your friends. Then on September 6th, Saturn stations direct. So Saturn was retrograde, so now it stations direct at 11 hours 10 minutes. And Mercury leaves Leo and enters Virgo into your 12th house of the subconscious mind and dreams. So there's that. And that happens at 2 hours 40 minutes into the day of September 6th. Then on September 8th, at 13 hours 32 minutes, Venus in your sign and your ruling planet, Venus, in your first house of the self and body, sextiles the moon. Once the moon comes into your 11th house of friendships, hopes, goals, and wishes, and with this pleasant yet positive sextile from your ruling planet Venus to the moon, you now have the ability to truly reach out to your friends in a most positive way. Then, on September 9th, the new moon occurs in your 12th house in Virgo at 17 degrees exactly. Then your ruling planet, on the same day that the new moon goes into Virgo, your ruling planet leaves your sign and enters Scorpio in your second house of money and what you value. So this will give you a more intense earning ability and or drive, so to speak, for whatever it is you're hoping to do within your home. Oh, and you are here, by the way. That's Earth. Then on September 10th, the following day, at 15 hours 14 minutes, Mars trines the moon. As the moon is still in its new phase, as it takes 2.5 days per sign to make its way around these tags. They tend to slip away from all the placements. Okay, so where was I? Mars trine the new moon. So from your 4th house to your 12th house, as it's the Virgoan house, but the naturally residing Piscean house, you now have this Mars over here in your 4th house of the home, harmoniously trining something new in the way of you needing to have the time to go within and somewhat isolate yourself to however, it's not a bad thing to be isolating yourself at this time, because it's a need for harmony within yourself, within your own mind. And so that's happening on September 10th. Then on September 11th, Mars leaves your 4th house of the home and enters your 5th house of romance and creativity and enters the sign of Aquarius. And that happens at 0 hours 57 minutes. And also on September 11th, at 22 hours 59 minutes, Pluto squares the moon. Now Pluto is right here retrograding in your 4th house of the home, and when the moon actually goes into your sign, Libra, into your 1st house of the self and body, it then squares Pluto. So now from your 4th house to your 1st house, and moon now in your sign of the balance, you can now feel that sense of emotional balance in yourself and body, your physical self and body. However, this challenging square to the deep and retrograding, it's retrograding, and I'm not really quite sure how that will affect you, but with this retrograding planet of Pluto transiting your 4th house of the home, the moon in your sign, Libra, squaring this planet of Pluto, may give you that feeling of unrest, perhaps? Not really quite sure, but emotional nonetheless. And then on September 12th, Jupiter, having been transiting your 2nd house of money, sextiles Pluto. So here we have from your 4th house to your 2nd house, Jupiter in Scorpio, Pluto in Capricorn, making this pleasant 2-sign away, 2-house away, short but sweet, positive. Largely, you will be earning for the sake of your home life. In other words, something to do with what it is you're trying to accomplish or finish up in a home project, and being able to largely earn and pull in and put that as a maybe you're flipping a house, so there's something to do with maybe you're choosing to turn your home into an investment. Okay, and then on September 14th, the sun sextiles the moon once the moon comes into your second house of money and what you value in Scorpio. And so then the sun in Virgo, so from earth to water, sun in Virgo to moon in Scorpio, this then also gives you the ability to tap into your subconscious mind and your dream state, and maybe even win a few lottery ticket numbers by doing so. Then on the, actually 2 days later from that, on September 16th, the sun squares the moon once the moon goes into the sign of Sagittarius, and then squares the moon square the sun. Now this moon in Sagittarius in your third house of communications gives you the ability to be playful in how you communicate, or emotionally how you express yourself. However, with this square, there is a bit of a challenge to being more subjective rather than objective in communications. Then on September 16th as well, the first quarter moon happens directly after that square at 24 degrees Sagittarius 2 minutes. In other words, toward the tail end of your third house of communications, giving you first, kind of like stemming from the new moon, first strides in what you're trying to get across. Then on September 19th at 17 hours 11 minutes, the sun trines the moon once the moon goes into your fourth house of the home in Capricorn. And if you're wondering why I'm kind of whispering, it's because I'm trying to keep my voice down, as it is pretty early in the morning and I don't want neighbors hearing me talking too loud. Okay, so now with the sun still in Virgo in your 12th house, and then the moon now in Capricorn in your 4th house of the home, you now have this very harmonious trine to how you feel about your home base and how you're feeling like your dreams are coming true. Then on September 21st, Jupiter squares the moon once the moon goes into Aquarius, into your 5th house of romance and creativity. And Jupiter's over here in Scorpio. In your 2nd house of money. So there may be a need to be watchful and mindful about how much you're spending. Maybe you're overspending on your romantic love interest. So keep your purse strings or pocket wallet, kind of in check. Balance your spending as you're the sign of balance, and think more clearly, as sometimes Mercury in the 12th house might make your thinking a little bit more like as if it were retrograde. Okay, then, interestingly enough, I just got through saying that, Mercury leaves Virgo and enters your sign, your cardinal, your air, and Mercury enters your sign of Libra in your first house of the self and body at 3 hours 41 minutes into the day. And then on the following day, the sun follows suit and enters your sign in your first house of the self and body at 1 hour and 55 minutes into the day, gearing up toward the fall, as this is what your sign somewhat represents, not only the balance of the scales, but the sun falling and setting, the setting sun. Then on September 24th at 5 hours and 27 minutes, Jupiter trines the moon once the moon enters Pisces. There's a lot of Jupiter energy for everybody this month, and especially for you. Now you have Jupiter trining from your second house of money to your sixth house of work and health. Now, you may very well be able to ask for a major promotion and or raise, as your ruling planet is in your second house of money and what you value, and the largest planet of the solar system is trining the moon, and you can very well reach your trying to think your trying to think of it, not your dreams, but you'll be able to reach for the brass ring, so to speak, and receive quite a bit in your line of work. Then on September 25th, Then on September 25th, the full moon occurs in your seventh house, your naturally residing house, at 1 degree Aries, 60 minutes. And now, see, you have your sun is in Libra now, and the full moon is now highlighting your relationships, as this is the house of others and relationships. So then on the following day at 10 hours 29 minutes, Pluto squares the moon. See, so full moon in your seventh house. So from the seventh to the fourth houses, Pluto and the full moon. may make you feel quite an intensity. You may be a bit argumentative at this time with your significant other within your home. So be mindful of that. Then, on the final day of the month, September 28th, at 22 hours 37 minutes, when the moon goes full circle into Taurus, Jupiter then opposes the moon into your 8th house versus, so now what you're dealing with here is you needing this point of awareness or doing a 180, as it's a 180 degree opposition. You needing balance and awareness in terms of what you value versus what others value. Learning to value yourself versus learning to value others. And with that, Libra, I would like to thank you for watching and liking. Give me a thumbs up, comment down below. Feel free to subscribe. And here is your additional bonus. Libra, you are the scales. Your quality is cardinal. Your element is air. Your ruling planet is Venus. Your glyph is the scales. Your ruling house is the 7th house of relationships and others. And your opposite sun sign is Aries, where the full moon posited itself. Then your anatomy is the kidneys, the lower back, the adrenal glands, and the appendix. Your key phrase is I balance. Your positive characteristics and or attributes are that you are cooperative, persuasive, companionable, peace-loving, refined, judicial, artistic, diplomatic, sociable, and suave. And then your negative characteristics and or traits to let go are that you can be fickle, apathetic, love intrigue, peace at any price, pouting, indecisive, and easily deterred. So try not to deter yourself in your life's path. And I'm breaking out my handy dandy beautiful coloring pencils, and we will color your let's see, your scales. I'll use metallic silver. And this is something I came up with on the spur of the moment. I just says, you know what? I just have to do something artistic with my channel. And I thought, you know, this would be a neat idea to make this somewhat of like a to pass the time here, but also almost as if it's like a coloring book. And just kind of coming up with my own art here for your particular sign and or all 12 sun signs. And I'm so happy that quite a few people have come forward and said, wow, this is really cool. This is really unique, and I'm really liking what you're doing here. And so I'm very appreciative of my subscribers and any wonderful and beautiful comments that have been coming my way. And this is how I show my appreciation right here, in a tactile way. I'm very expressive myself, and this is what I'm trying to convey to you, my love. Let's see, this is cool gray, that won't work. Okay. I'm trying to think of what would be your sign, would be sort of like a color for your sign. Opal is your stone. Let's see. Bubble gum. I'm trying to find something. How about metallic gold down here, or maybe up here somewhere? I'm going to shade some of this. I didn't leave enough room for like openings, like gaps in any way that would, but I'll put gold right in here. There we go. You're weighing out some gold. Your scales are weighing some real gold here. This is the metallic gold pencil. Or in a sense, it's kind of like I'm shading the inner patina of the beautiful cups of your scales in a somewhat of a metallic gold. Beautiful. That's pretty good for now. This is supposed to be wrought iron. So with that, I'm so glad you came to watch my video and until the very end here. See, Libra, the scales. And now you see my handwriting versus my printing. I've, over the years, really practiced and perfected it. Although, I've been told, oh, it's too fancy, yeah, or it's too this, or it's too that. But you know what? Nobody's perfect. Nobody. Not even me, not you, not anybody. And you know, that's okay. And I didn't really quite, well, I guess I did color within the lines. Oh boy. All right. Well, I will see you in October. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.